Thank you, Christine. And thank you. Is this picking up? Okay. Thank you, Christine, and good morning. And I apologize, I'm a little flustered this morning as I've been suffering from a migraine. But when you think about climate change, if you think about it in the context of we're entering into a world that looks a whole lot different than the one that we've been in for the last several decades. That was happening concurrently to technology changes, globalization, security changes, even public health changes. But all of those things are being magnified and accelerated and impacted in a very significant way by the rules of the planet that we live on changing. And as a result, the way we interface with this planet that sustains us is going to have to change. So if we think about, for instance, if we think about an architect, if you design a building that is conceivably going to be around for 50 or 100 or 150 years, it's not just about the footprint of the building, but it's also thinking about how is that building going to experience its surroundings and be impacted by its surroundings, by the environment, over its lifespan. And if you model based on what the world used to look like, as opposed to what it's going to look like, then you're designing a building that could very well fail. And when it fails, its owners, its occupants, those who surround it are all going to be impacted. So when you think about what it means to be an architect or a planner or civil engineer, or somebody who's making finance decisions that will have decadal implications, multi-decadal implications, you have to think about how can we account for the world we're entering into. And that's a different skill set than the one we had before. So when we think about many occupations, now we're thinking about the context of what's the delta between the skill set we used to have and the skill set that we need to have to be healthy, secure, and prosperous all at the same time. So when we think about climate change, we think about climate change as a combination of a human capital issue, a governance issue, and a behavior change issue. We're going to have to collaborate across organizational boundaries and jurisdictions in ways that we have not been accustomed to doing because Mother Nature doesn't care for organizational boundaries and jurisdictions. Water is going to go where water is going to go. And so as a result, we're going to have to think about what organizational change and cultural change looks like while we're embedded where we are. So this is the ultimate challenge, but it's one we can take on because when we take on in numbers and using systems thinking, as Christine said earlier, we have the capacity to redesign and reconceive what we are going to be. And so that's the opportunity that sits before us in a changing planet, to be in front of it as opposed to reacting after it changes. Thanks, Christine.
Thomas?